How you going? I'm going good. I'm off the antibiotics. I've been on them for fucking 10 days and I'm feeling a whole lot better. And I'm back to me again. I want to talk today about humanity, the human race. How many of us is there? Fucking billions of us. What is it, 13 billion now or some crazy number? Anyway, humanity is sick across the board. There is a psychosis that I see everywhere I go. I see selfishness. I see sadistic behaviour. I see controlling behaviour. I see jealous behaviour. I see self-serving behaviour. And this is the reason I don't watch TV anymore. I haven't watched TV for over 20 years. Because I used to watch the news and I used to think, people are fucking sick. I remember the last time I watched TV, I was watching in South Africa, or somewhere in Africa. They were putting tyres over people's heads and filling them up with lighter fluid and setting them on fire, and these people running down the street, burning to death, slowly, a painful death. It wasn't South Africa, somewhere in Africa, I can't even remember. I remember just blocking that, and I'm so sensitive. The world has always been full of this shit. The Middle East has got horrible shit where men are just doing hideous things to women, controlling them. The whole society, the world is sick. The human race is sick. And we see it all the time. We see it around us. People wear a thin veneer. But this is not how we're meant to be. The thing about a psychosis is a psychosis can be healed. It can be healed. If it was something built into our DNA and our genetic makeup, which some people will argue it is because of how we've evolved, then it's not fixable. But I don't believe that's the biology of it. I believe it's actually what we've become, and I think it can be healed. You've got so many different religions all saying they're right. Christianity, Muslims, Buddhists. Oh, it just goes on and on. Islamic, it just goes on and on. And they're all saying we're the way and trying to impose their way on somebody else. Until we stop trying to impose things on people, the world will never be well. Have you had the COVID shot, Clay? Yes or no? What's the question? What's it going to be? This one really gets me going, because I was sitting in a group of people about 3 days ago, 8 men, 2 women, 10 people, and they were talking about the COVID shot, the vaccine. And this is something I've done a lot of research on. I always research health because I've got a bit of a fetish with wellness and that since I got really sick with cancer. So I've got friends that are in the medical profession. I've got doctors, I've got professors, I've got surgeons, a lot of people. I talk to a lot of people. And I'm uneducated, so I don't really understand the language they use, but I've got a wee bit of a grip on some things, but not a lot. I understand how vaccines work. I understand how this new vaccine works. So we're sitting in this group and everyone's talking, and I could tell there was one guy in the group that didn't want to get the Pfizer vaccine. I could tell. Everybody in the group was saying, you've got to get the vaccine if you care about your community to stop the spread of it. I was keeping my lips shut. I was saying nothing about anything. I was just listening. I was going, oh, yep. And this guy, one guy who was eating his sandwich, and he had his head down, and I could see in his face, fuck, I'm outnumbered here, I'll keep quiet. So they're all talking, and you could sense that some of them were like, to this one particular guy, you could sense they were picking up what I was picking up. And you could feel the division going on. How fucking stupid is that? How stupid is that? We suddenly, we all gang up on this one guy there, and I said, I piped up and I said, look, I'm pro-vaccine. I think vaccines are important. I've had lots of vaccines myself, and I've never been an anti-vaxxer. However, I've got a few wee things that disturb me with the Pfizer vaccine. What I do like is I actually like the Novavax. And the guy in the corner piped up from his sandwich, he goes, Novavax? I said, well, it's the one that's based on sort of like the same vaccine as the hepatitis vaccine. It works on the same premise as that. And it also has a much higher rate of smashing COVID. It's about 97.5%. Whereas COVID's the Pfizer vaccine and all the other ones that work on that spike protein, they're about 90%. So that's a better vaccine if you're going to get a vaccine, if you're going to get one. Well, why would you not get one? People said. I said the reason that you might not get the new vaccine is because the actual the trials of it haven't finished until 2023, and there's a lot of stuff being suppressed by media about some of the other adverse effects. Oh, that's all just conspiracy stuff. I said, it may be conspiracy. I don't actually buy into any of it. I do think, though, that everyone's got the right to choose. I don't think that should be imposed, and I don't think religion should be imposed on people, and I don't think diet should be imposed on people. I'm a real advocate for 1 meal a day, no sugar, but my children eat 3 meals a day and they have sugar, and I would never impose it on my children. Why do people always feel They're going to force something onto something that's their beliefs. And this is where you see the disharmony. And of course you end up with wars, and you end up with what's going on in Afghanistan. You end up with what's gone on in the past in Sierra Leone, what's gone on in Rwanda, what's gone on through the history of time. We are sick. We are sick. We are fucking sick. And all of us have this thin veneer that is so fucking thin. And I've talked about this in other videos, and I remember the time during the Christchurch earthquakes when the baby milk powder ran short, and two neighbours, two women, were fighting over the last can in the row and pack and save, to the point they ended up putting it down on the ground, one woman taking it over to a neighbour's basket to feed her baby, and they were pulling here in the fight, and one of them actually punched a hole through the tin foil top. The lid came off and punched through the tin foil, and the baby milk powder actually ended up being spilt on the fucking floor. How much fighting and physical struggle do you have to take a lid off? Like, it fell down the lid, and then she went to grab it, and she puts a fucking fingernail through that tin foil top, and it's everywhere. It looked like she'd been to a drug bust, and there was cocaine everywhere. And then the staff came, and I thought, this is human nature. The drive to protect my child, and suddenly this veneer of, how are you today? Good, thanks, went right at the fucking window. We start getting hungry, our veneer becomes very thin. I think this psychosis that humans are all suffering from, this, and I call it that, I think it can be healed. If it was something that was really built strong into our DNA, then I'd say, fuck it, we're all fucked and we're all going to kill each other and die. But I do think it can be healed. But I don't know how. And that's a biological question as much as a spiritual, emotional, mental, physical one. It's to do with our biology and why we are so selfish, why we are so driven, why we are so competitive to the point to get ahead in anything, whether it's a politics or to be striving to be a good musician, or to be a good plumber, or a good doctor, or a good lawyer, or whatever you're trying to be, that you put the other man down to get on top. And you see it all the time, this narcissist way of thinking to get to the very top and not caring. The whole meaning of life is getting lost on people. This is why people are not happy. This is why people go, what's the meaning of life? I don't understand it. The meaning of life is very, very simple. How we are meant to be, how we've evolved as a species. The meaning, it's like the elephant in the room and nobody looks at it. The whole purpose, the whole meaning of our lives is to help each other. We're a social creature. We rely upon each other. No man is an island. That's how we can't function without each other. Try it. You go fishing by yourself, it's great, but you go fishing with a mate and you share it, then you've got something to talk about afterwards. I love hunting and fishing alone, but when I go out with my mates, it's natural to hunt alone and fish alone, but when I go out with my mates, it's special. We're sharing it. The camaraderie, the brotherhood, we're beside each other, we're helping each other. It's special, I feel it. We are meant to help each other. That's the purpose, that's the meaning of life. If you become so self-centered in your own happiness and trying to fulfill everything in your needs and be so competitive to get right to the top, you're going to end up the most miserable fucking bastard that you know. I see it. I see it in people that are so successful in business, they've got so much fucking money and they live in a flash home and all that, and they're fucking miserable. Fucking miserable. Because they never ever give to anything or anybody outside themselves. They don't give 10% of their wages to charity. They don't invest in other people's well-being. They're constantly thinking about what can I get for myself, and everything they have has an angle that's financially driven. Everything. I'll talk to this guy because he'll help me get further. And they completely lose the whole meaning of life, and they end up miserable bastards. Miserable fucking sad bastards. I know them. You might even be one yourself listening to me. You will never ever ever be happy. Happiness is something else. You'll never ever ever know the meaning of your life if you don't help other people. That's why we're here. Happiness, that's another thing. Happiness comes from integrity. Integrity. Think about that. Integrity. I think about the people I know in my life that are the happiest, without being judgmental, or I guess I have to judge on this one, but out of all of my friends, who's the happiest? Well, I'd say that Arb, who does my building, he'd be right up there. I was talking on the phone yesterday. I talk to him most days, and he's on his mountain bike. He's down in Christchurch doing a ride, and he said, "Oh, I'm at the top of the hill, bro. It's bloody beautiful." He's there with his wife. He's got a good relationship because he's got integrity. He's got a good relationship with me because he's got integrity. He's got a good relationship with himself because he's integrity. I used to check his invoices when he first started working for me, and I quickly realised this guy's a better mathematician than me. And as far as his integrity goes, it's never to be questioned. If he says he did 5.5 hours, he did 5.5 hours. I don't need to check that. His integrity is through the roof, and so is his happiness. He's got the own struggles everybody else had. He had heart disease and had to have a new heart. He's got a pig valve in there. He put that 2.5 years ago, and he got through that challenge, and he's still here. And he's got his own things. He wakes up some morning, he doesn't feel motivated to work, and we all get that sometimes, but he overall is happy and has a peaceful mind and a good outlook because he's got integrity. So based on these things, and based on how the world is sick around us, this is why I don't watch TV, because I don't want to see those horrible things that happen. I don't want to be reminded about our society and how it becomes sick, and how people try to enforce their way upon us. And I see it more and more, particularly now with COVID, the division between people and the politics of it. But live and let live. There's a lot to be said in that. Normally these videos are to bring a solution to a problem. I don't actually have a solution to that problem of society, but I do think that each and every one of us can start from within inside ourselves to work on those things and be mindful of our own actions and ask ourselves the question, was I helpful to somebody today? And is my integrity up to where it should be? And that'll be a good start for the rest of the world. Okay, brothers, go steady. And I'll see you in the next video. Pace, let's go into the mega store. We're going to go in there and do some man shopping, eh, mate? No, you can stay in here. I love the mega store. The big orange place. Going to go and buy some stuff for my garden. And also, I'll talk about that in another video. Don't want to tell you all my secrets. Okay, see you later. Good boy. You're a good dog, aren't you? Yes, you are. You're a good boy.